Hi, today I'm going to talk about Indigenous assessment strategies. The TED Talks that I watched really got me thinking about how Indigenous students and how their experiences are much different than mine. As a teacher, I want them to feel included and have a fair chance at getting the grades they deserve. I want to be a part of reconciliation in Canada. Here I have 6 strategies that you can implement to support Indigenous students around the world. You can incorporate Indigenous books into the classroom and use for assessment. I have a link here, and it offers a list of books from Indigenous authors that are inspiring and can be relatable to some Indigenous students and help non-Indigenous students understand what it's about and what life is like for Indigenous peoples. And over here I have some photos of books that are really interesting about Indigenous people, and they're written by Indigenous peoples as well. And flexible deadlines. Some issues that Indigenous people may face that would cause late assignments can be lack of services, lack of medical care, unemployment, decaying infrastructure, broken families, high crime rates, ineffective government programs, crowded living conditions, lower income, higher rate of suicide. So flexible deadlines can be really helpful because Indigenous students have many cultural and family factors that can contribute to late assignments. It's quite important to be open with students and try to understand what they may be going through. Strict late penalties causes grades that do not reflect what the student learned. Try to be flexible about deadlines, but still stress the importance of having them. Multiple methods of assessment. Indigenous students may not be comfortable with some ways of assessment, such as presentations in front of the class. Additionally, all students are different and learn differently, so there needs to be a variety in order to truly show what the students have learned. All students need to be able to have opportunities that they can truly use to determine their learning. An example would be a project gives students choices on how to present, such as they could do PowerPoint or a speech or paper or a diorama or a video, and they get to choose. Clear expectations. All students need to be able to understand what they are being assessed on. This will bring Indigenous students to have more of an understanding and feel like they want to complete the assessment. One way to do this is through a rubric students are able to see before they hand in the assessment. All assessments should also have clear instructions in a student-friendly language that all students can understand. The instructions should also be explained by the instructor prior to the assessment. Students should be allowed to ask questions about instructions and expectations. Indigenous representation in assessments and class. Indigenous students need to feel like they're being represented. This can be done through special guests, field trips, music, art, and movies. I know I already mentioned books, but I wanted to put them separately as literature is such a big part of education and deserved its own slide. By representing these, students can feel more included and others can have more of knowledge about their history and lifestyle. Fair grading practices. Students should be graded without biases based on their race, identity, culture, gender, etc. Indigenous students have a need for second chances in the classroom. Students should empathize with their students and be able to help them out during tough times by giving them second chances. Aboriginal students may struggle with handing assignments in on time, not having second chances, being graded on personal and social characteristics, for example, marks for participation. So for this presentation, I used resources from class. I used the 3 TED Talks and the PDF. And my own resources I used are right here. You can check those out if you wanted to. They're actually really helpful and they helped me a lot. So thank you.